Hello and welcome to a special edition of the Throwers Corner, powered by Monkey Finger Design. My name is Shannon Reifenberg, and I recently went on a trip to Smyrna, Tennessee to meet up with Alvin Rollins from Foxland Precision. Most of you may not know this, but Alvin does a whole lot of machining for a whole lot of companies in our community, and most people have no idea who he is. I had the chance to sit down and get him in front of the camera for an interview, and I've cut everything together and got it all prepared for you. So check it out. So Alvin, what does your history in machining look like prior to yo-yos?
Oh, well, I've been machining, since high school. I started machining in high school and went to work in the field. So I'm 52 now, so that means I've been doing this for 30 years.
Wow.
There's no telling how many millions of parts I have made,
That's awesome. What got you into making yo-yos?
Well, really, I bought this machine in hopes of, becoming independent and eventually just working for myself. And once I finally got through the process of buying the machine, which was major, I started making just whatever parts I could get, anything but yo-yos.
Mm-hmm.
And I always was trying to think of custom parts I could make and sell, whether it be motorcycle parts or whatever. But at some point, my kids had some yo-yos, and I think it was actually some weird yo-yo you'd throw and it would light up. But something made me get online and search yo-yos. And when I saw that, I was like, wow, the first thing I pulled up was a $100 yo-yo.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I had no idea, so I dug deeper and deeper into it, and eventually wound up going to the Tennessee yo-yo meets, and really Mark Allen and Brandon Jackson had a lot to do with me really getting as far along as I am now.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's been quite the journey.
So you talked about buying the machine. Do you want to explain a little bit about the machine you use?
Yeah, I mean it's an Okuma CNC lathe, which is pretty common in a lot of machine shops. And this is an older machine, and honestly, the older machines are built better than the newer machines. They're more, luckily for me, they last longer. And so yeah, it's been a good machine. I hope it will keep going for me.
Absolutely. How long has Foxland been in business?
Probably as a yo-yo company about, 6 or 7 years as a yo-yo manufacturer, I should say now. Really, that's more what I do now. instead of being a yo-yo company, I'm a yo-yo manufacturer. So.
Other than Monkey Finger Design, what other companies have you made yo-yos for?
Oh Lord, there's a bunch of them. I mean, there's G Squared. Wow, I'd have to look at my books. Let's look at these. Oh, Deadly Spins. Amplified Return Tops. Yo-Yo Works. Yo-Yo Community. You know, there's Yo-Yo Community. There's the Spectrum. Deadly Spins, the Greed.
You talked about you talked about 10 Yo-Yo being one of them.
Yeah, actually 10 Yo-Yo. Yeah, I should mention them because they're really what got me off the ground as far as running the quantities of Yo-Yos. That's really, and what really taught me a lot in the early stages was 10 Yo, which it was Joe Rogaine and the guy that was in it with him, I forget his name right now, but he was the guy who engineered and designed 10 Yo stuff. And yeah, they really got me off the ground, you know, in the early stages, kind of like Brandon and Mark Allen did, you know, 10 Yo. The Wet Whistle is still to this day one of the coolest yo-yos because it's so wide and it doesn't look like it can throw worth a crap.
Mm-hmm.
But when you throw it, the thing is dead smooth and stable. And that's a pretty cool yo-yo, for sure.
I definitely thought it was a clever yo-yo being used as a shot glass as well.
Yeah.
Perfect measurement on the inside cup.
Yeah, it's got like a small shot and a big shot or whatever.
It's clever.
I've used it a time or two for that. Not that I drink very often, but I have actually used it for that.
What's been the most difficult yo-yo to make and why?
You know, Yo-Yo Works has thrown some extremely difficult ones at me, as well as Monkey Finger. Like the couple I've made for them recently have been among the most difficult yo-yos, because some of these, when you get into them where they've got the real deep undercut thumb grinds, I mean, that's extremely difficult to get a tool in and do it well repeatedly, you know, without issues. And there's a few more, like I think it was the cap stand for Yo-Yo Works was extremely difficult. G Squared is the Marvel. It has an undercut on the back side above the flow groove. That was pretty difficult. Yeah, there's been a few extremely difficult ones, and I pretty much don't turn anything down. I will try to run anything.
Yeah.
And I think that may be where I differ from some of the other guys. They may look at some of these and say, yeah, I'm not even going to try that. I will try it.
I remember you saying earlier when we were talking, you even designed your own cutting tool just so you could make specific.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've made an inserted 35-degree cutting tool that I can move around and get into any spot.
That's
and
awesome.
I think that gives me an advantage over some of them.
Okay. What's been your most favorite project to work on?
You know, some of the Monkey Finger yo-yos have been some of my favorite yo-yos. G Squared has put out a couple that I've really liked, but you know, Monkey Finger, not just because you're interviewing me, but I just like their whole deal. I mean, the name is awesome, the yo-yos are awesome, and he's been among my favorite for sure. Ray, every time I talk to him, it's like we just instantly click because we both just work out in the garage all the time and tinker with stuff. So, yeah, and 10 Yo, Joe has, you know, been a good friend of mine over the years too. They would be among some of my favorite projects. So, but yeah, and there's, you know, just about all of them are the yo-yo community's pretty cool. Just about all of them you meet are good people. So.
Awesome. If you had a top 3 yo-yo bag what would be your three favorites to play
the
with?
Tri-B is going in my bag. That's the first one that's going in my bag. There's a, and I won't be able to remember them all, but you know, the Wet Whistle was going in my bag, and then my own yo-yo, the Cat's Meow, which is kind of a goofy name, but hey, it was early on. That's one of my favorites because I love the feel of it, the roundness, and it just fits perfectly in your hand. And there's more, you know, that could easily fall into that top three. But immediately the Tri-B is like, it's my favorite right now, hands down.
Awesome.
You know?
Hey, as somebody who played with a Cat's Meow today, I'm going home with one. Let's see. Last question. What are the plans for Foxland in the future?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, I plan to keep going until I can't go no more, honestly. Really, some of it depends on this old machine, and I've kicked around buying some more equipment, but anybody who's in this business knows how expensive that is. You know, you're looking at probably close to $100,000 to buy one of these. Now you can get them like I did this one used for a lot less, but it's a big investment and a big risk in it. But I've kicked it around. I may buy another one, but I'm hoping this one's just going to keep going.
Awesome. I'm sure the whole yo-yo community is hopeful that it stays.
I wish I started this about 10 years sooner than I did. Because now I feel like I'm getting old. I'm like, well, we're on the last leg here, dude. You better get something going here quick if you're going to do it, you know. But we'll see. I'm going to keep going as long as I can.
Awesome.
No plans to quit.
Well, thank you so much for the interview today.
You're welcome.
So after spending 4 hours with Alvin and his wife Tammy, I had a blast. They are great people, and I think when it comes to his machining, his wife put it best.
He loves what he does, and he puts a lot of love into everything, and it is not a job, it's a craft.